Man, I don't know if it's another guy, but he gets hit with another sword strike, this time in the back. And the man warns him to understand that from now on, he'll never know peace in this game. Wherever he hides, they'll follow and kill him. Ryuki turns and says it's hilarious how this whole world belongs to Lindsay. The guy tells him to keep laughing because soon the only thing he'll be doing is screaming in pain. But on the next attack, Ryuki activates Flash Step and grabs the sword. He gets right up close to the guy and says 3 hits were enough for him not to be seen as the villain in this scene. The masked man then realizes the kid was holding back from the very beginning. And now he's the one getting cut. Everyone nearby can feel the guy's pain. Man, the knife being driven straight into his back now too. Ryuki wants to know what happened to the guy who was supposed to be hunting him all over the game and making him scream in pain. Normally in this world, the more defense you have, the less pain you feel. But our boy, yeah man, he doesn't follow the rules of the game. And apparently the guy is trying to log out, but he can't. Ryuki says that's good to know. In a place where no one can die, it's the perfect setting to let someone sit there suffering. He keeps spinning his sword back and forth, saying this revenge is only just getting started. That's when Igon warns him to be careful. A bunch of coded figures surround him from all sides. One of them with a brooch on his shoulder calls out to Ryuki and says he'll get straight to the point. It would be best if Ryuki left the ghost world, and even better if he stopped being a player altogether. If he agreed, they'd let this go. Ryuki, who draws his second sword, says they're being way too generous offering him such a noble favor. He stabs the guy in the back again and says that they were the ones who provoked him first. The bridge guy replies that clearly this bastard was more dangerous than he expected. Ryuki tells him to run, but the guy says that's not an option. Besides, he's curious to know what that sword is. Ryuki tells him to take off the mask and he'll explain, but the guy just answers that that's not going to happen. He says Ryuki should have used the bugs he got to live a peaceful and hidden life, but he wanted too much attention. And now he found himself in trouble, a shame really, but his plans end here. Right at that moment, all the masked guys attack Ryuki, who's just standing there like a fool, but he dodges the first strike and takes a step back to avoid the second. The guy with the blue bangs is coming from behind, thinking Ryuki isn't half bad, but this is where it ends. Only Ryuki already activated Sword Sync and slashed the first attacker. Apparently the guy managed to defend himself, but his whole sword cracked. He couldn't understand how someone who hadn't even reached the demon tower was already using aura. A technique like that normally burned a ridiculous amount of mana, so using it like this was insane. He decides to try again, saying that weak aura won't do anything, but Ryuki just deflects it using his sword, which has his own aura, and says they probably don't even realize what he's doing. He strikes the guy in the chest, and another one's down, or rather just incapacitated, since no one dies here. The leader, at least, is smart. He sees how quickly Ryuki block with aura and wonders if it's a parry, like in some other games. Ryuki just replies that they're starting to realize the more they try the worse they'll get. To help them make up their minds, he reveals that his ability doesn't consume mana, which means right now he's the only one who won't get tired. Before the guys can even process what he just said, bam! Another sword strike hits dead center, on someone's head. Judging by the blood sound, that thing went in deep. Speaking of going in deep, there's a little white-haired girl. Is that you, Cynthia? You sneaky snake. You think I forgot your name? The other guy's leg is messed up, and the leader tells them to be careful. Somehow the pain from this kid's attacks feels worse. They shift into a hide-and-leaf formation, each one drawing their class setups and all that. At that moment, Ryuki replies that if someone was pulling out Nightfall, then they're not trying to hide anymore. He knows all too well a dual sword user, known as Cassius. Matt is famous as Linfall, but still well known, and definitely not someone people and want to find out what he's been up to. Cassius activates a binding magic, a lever, to paralyze the kid so they can go in for the finisher. Chains rise from the ground and wrap around Ryuki. Everyone starts prepping their best abilities, and 3 attacks come flying toward our boy. Cassius knows how parry works. If there's nothing solid for it to counter, it doesn't work properly. And judging by Ryuki's face, looks like his right man. Glitter explosion everywhere. Bow and the smoke clears, someone's just standing, they're untouched. He's got that dumb look on his face, while Igun explains that now that the ability has evolved, it can also defend against non-physical attacks. Even so, Ryuki's swinging his sword around, saying he's kind of disappointed. This looks like a lot to be more careful with long-range fighters. Man, before Darius could even say anything, he took a bullet straight to the chest, dropped like trash to the ground, calling for backup. Our boy says it's really sad to see their boss go down with just one little bullet. He hadn't even started having fun yet. But the guys are completely confused. How the hell does this bastard have a revolver fiery in the middle of the fantasy world? Our boy is there holding 3 massive revolvers, man. Against monsters like golems, they're not much use. But against humans, it's a different story. Especially in a world like this, where that kind of item shouldn't even exist. He mourns them that everyone who came after him today is going to leave here crawling. Somewhere, someone's watching a screen just listening to the sound of gunfire. It looks like a weirdly warped teddy bear saying things are starting to get interesting. Back in the scene, Ryuki's disappointed by how weak these guys are. I don't explain that these guys just play based on in-game stats, right? They don't even try to dodge anything, and that's why they can't handle a gun. Plus, he was keeping them pinned in place so they just stay there, writhing in pain. Ryaku walks up with a smug look, saying that his high-ranking members of Linza, these guys, probably have some kind of mental defense. Stuttling, he senses something and dives to the side. An attack slams into the ground and blows the whole area apart. Well, man, not only that, now a rain of attacks is coming down in the poor guy. He recognizes it as me here, rain, definitely the skill of a certain someone, and he wants to know if it's the person he's thinking of. Right then, a transfer stone drops next to him, and a split second, Ryuki vanishes. The people in the city are all confused, while Cassie wonders if those guys are going to get personally involved. Somewhere else, our boy is running while attacks keep hitting his back. Man, when he looks back, Linfold showed up. What the hell? The guy teleported him? This dude's hacking too, huh? And the bastard says that now that no one's watching, things will get better. He wasn't going to ignore all the noise Ryaku's been making. He already throws a spear at his back and asks if he's ready for the pain he's about to feel. I got him warns that Ryaku's heart rate is spiking and our protagonist thinks about how he's imagined this moment countless times in his head. He turns to Linfold and says the only thing he wants to know is, does he remember who he is? Oh man, the villain with his Alzheimer moment says he really doesn't remember. He thought seeing the kid up close would jog his memory, but nothing. Not a single thing came to mind. So now he wants to know why the kid is trying to ruin his life like this. That hits Ryuki like a brick. He can't believe that the bastard who ruined his life doesn't even remember anything. Then Linfold puts a hand to his face and keeps repeating to himself, Ryuki. And suddenly turns and says, yeah, he really doesn't remember. You scumbag. I really thought he was going to say, I remember, but nope, he has no clue. He just asks if Ryuki feels wrong by the fact that he doesn't even know who he is. But honestly, he doesn't care because now that Ryuki's done all this, he's going to have to pay the price. At the very least, he hopes he won't be here disappointed. All right, man. The fight's really about to go down now and Ryuki tells him not to worry. He had no intention of holding back. The two of them are standing still. As full NM vibes, the beatdown is about to start. Linfold charges up and attacks the tip of his spear and our boy already knows what's coming. He charges forward super fast. He dodges. Linfold gives a little impressed smile that Ryuki managed to escape with that little jump. But our boy curled up like a turtle man. He's not looking too brave, hands shaking all over. Here comes another attack from Linfold. He manages to block it, but the guy keeps the combo going man. Ryuki couldn't believe this guy was that strong and not even Perry was giving him a solid chance to defend. Another hit. He sent sliding backward. Linfold says maybe he's going to have to re-evaluate the kid. The entertainment wasn't bad. He's tired of this game that's become just a big XP farm. Back in the day, everyone played just for fun. He lands more strikes and says Ryuki is lucky too. He's learning from someone with real talent. He twirls the spear in his hand, comes down from above, activating the meteor strike attack. Our boy tries to block, but it stops him cold. Looks like he managed to defend it, but it felt like his arm nearly broke. He keeps reactivating parry while Linfold keeps the pressure with the spear. But talk about SR sword mastery that hit flung him away. His time makes me saying, finally, he created an opening to attack, but the bastard was way faster and almost landed his spear in his mouth. Ryuki couldn't believe it. Linfold got hit by the parry and still reacted faster than him. Then Linfold says it's interesting that he is parry, since that skill